They kicking his butt in there. This is what it's supposed to look like. Don't come up in America talking crazy. I'll slap you out that chair.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
I heard this was a beatdown. I heard that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance had to expose the shakedown artist Zelensky himself. The audacity of him walking around in military uniform and he ain't fighting nowhere is crazy. But I guess this time he decided to put a suit on and try to look dignified so he can come ask for some more money. I don't understand this. Some of y'all can help me in the comment section. I do not understand why we have such loyalty to giving so much money to the Ukraine. I think I do. I think it's because we've been doing so much dirt in Ukraine and the Bidens and everything. We owe them. That's why he don't have no problem coming and saying, you better give me that money. And what are they doing with the money? What are they doing with the efforts? Because some people argue that it's not really us giving the money. What we do is we're giving them $2 billion worth of old equipment and we're renewing our equipment. So we're allocating the funds to Ukraine, but it's dishing out all of our old stuff. And we're using the funds that we're doing in Ukraine, we're rebuilding our arsenal and inventory. That's what I heard, which wouldn't be a bad idea. But do the people have to guess? So here's the transaction, the interaction between, and this just happened. I think I'm probably the first person reporting on this. I want y'all to see how the media is covering this Trump-Zelensky thing. I mean, it should be actually Trump, J.D. Vance, and Zelensky. I mean, they kicked him out of the White House. How pompous and arrogant can you be that your lifeline, you're going to disrespect them and get beast moded out the White House? But anyway, I want y'all to see how people are covering this. And believe it or not, I think the right is covering it harder and more, I would say, diabolical. Not diabolical, that's not the word. They're covering it more harshly. They're using more hyperbole than the left is, and I'm kind of shocked by that. So all you got to do is look at some of these articles from the left, and it says, not ready for peace is what Trump says. You go down here, Trump meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky turns into a shouting match. I mean, that is very, you playing with Third World War. That's what the left is saying. Then you go to the right, and they go, you're gambling with Third World War. That's one of them, but it says J.D. Vance Zelensky in brutal confrontation. Intense exchange. They say it's disrespectful. I mean, they go down a list, but I would say that most of the right, left, and center are all in congruence when it comes to how crazy this situation was and how Zelensky got kicked out of the White House. And you can see right here, it's evenly covered. You have about 47 left, 52 right, and 55 in the center, which I think is one of those things that are fairly covered. So you can see the comparison bias here, and then you find your articles here so you can be informed and have the most information as possible. And that's why I love ground.news, because this is what they offer you. But don't forget about the blind spot, okay? Be aware of your blind spots in politics. The only way you're going to be successful in politics, the only way you're going to be really informed is if you know what you don't know, right? You find out what you don't know. All you got to do is go down and check it out. Like, look at what the left is being blind spotted by, right? Most Republicans are talking about this. Less left are talking about this. Biden blames the Dems for party's 2024 White House loss. The liberals don't know that he's going around making a party issue about his loss when it was really his cognitive dissonance that caused him to lose. Here's another one. J.D. Vance on Pope immigration policies criticism. Catholics too preoccupied with clergy politics. The left is not talking about that. Let's go to something that we are missing on the right. Let's see. Panama and Costa Rica turns into a black hole for migrants and deportees from U.S. observers warn. So this migrant crisis where people are having to go back to their own country or countries that are taking them in is somewhat having adversity, and we're not talking about it. Stabbing suspect arrested in the University of Virginia and victim is in critical condition. I wonder why. We're not talking about this, and the left is. Okay? So make sure you go to ground.news/Tatum, ground.news/Tatum. Subscribe through my link or download the mobile app and use offer code Tatum for 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the same plan that I use for unlimited access. The interaction between Zelensky, J.D. Vance, who's our next president, and Donald Trump. Roll the clip.
Yes, contract. Yes, but after that, he broke this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't.
Look at J.D.
He signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, J.D., you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you see what problems we have?
I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people in your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good. We're going to feel very good and very strong. You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, you said thank you. You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
he's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
I can't take this. Is they kicking his butt in there? This is what it's supposed to look like. Don't come up in America talking crazy. I'll slap you out that chair. That little homie think he gonna come up in here, bro. Don't get worked by Trump. Trump, he may be 75, but he'll get on your real fast. And JD, he look like he a big dude. Don't get whooped in front of everybody in the White House. Come in the Oval Office disrespect that we'll kick you out of here. So come on, let's keep going. Roll it, man.
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone. And we are thankful. I said thanks.
You haven't been alone. You haven't been alone. We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again, just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire
guarantees.
because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about a ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
Doesn't
with
matter for
me.
you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That was
is your-
with
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President.
Nick, Dylan, y'all are right, bro. That's the craziest thing I ever seen. I can't, I'm shocked, but I'm also like, ain't that how we supposed to be talking to these people? You don't have the car. Don't come up in here. And JD, that's why JD is the next president. JD said, well, first of all, you ain't even said thank you yet. I like how they both are like, bro, let's put you in your place. The camera's off. Do you want a ceasefire? Your people are dying. I just don't. I got so much more respect for Trump and JD Vance after this. I already had a lot. I didn't think I can get more respect. These are the greatest men in the world right now. They just got a fortitude to say, we're not finna let you come in here and just say whatever you want to say. I'm telling you straight out, bro. Your people are dying. You don't have nothing without us. You come in here and be grateful first. Second of all, you're losing. We ain't finna, we grown, man. You got your country, we got our country. You're not finna come here and disrespect us. And also, your people are dying. You have no chance. War would have been over in 2 weeks if it wasn't for us. So maybe you should listen to what we trying to tell you to do. No, you've been talking too much. Trump said, you've been talking too much. You've talked enough. He put his hand on him. I don't know if y'all seen him. Trump, like, touched him like this. Like, man, hey, don't get jiggy up in here. We can get it jiggy up in here. JD Vance looked like he ready to swing on somebody. I ain't gonna even lie. What if JD Vance swung on him? That would have been even crazier. That would have been the craziest moment in world history if JD Vance would have got up and said, hey, look, get up out of here. Get up out of here. Get him out of here. Oh, you don't want, get him out of here. Throw him like this. Zelensky getting worked in the Oval Office. That's what I like to see. That's the kind of country I like to see. But anyway, that was the craziest thing ever. But they make an incredible amount of sense on our side. It's because the Ukraine, let me just give y'all some stats real quick. The Ukrainian military has lost 46,000 people and over 390,000 injuries. And that's insane. 46,000 soldiers. You know how crazy that is? I want y'all to go to a football game and just think of in the entire stadium. If you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, I think they could probably fit about 65,000 people in there, maybe 50,000. Just imagine that whole thing where everybody's screaming and yelling, if they were soldiers and they all got killed. Do you know how many people that is? 390,000 injuries. That's bigger than many cities in this country. And it's insane. The civilian impact has taken severe toll on the civilians with over 12,000 confirmed dead and more than 29,000 injuries to their citizenry. And this guy don't want a ceasefire. I think Zelensky was wrong in the first place, to be honest, if y'all ask me. I think he was wrong in the first place. I don't know the context, but when I listen to him talk unbiasedly, it feel like Putin was right. I'm just saying. It's saying Putin said, if you don't do this by this date, we're going to do this. And they warned him, and they decided to be stubborn on it. And he did what he said he's going to do 8 years ago. And we telling our people it's an invasion like we didn't know it was happening. Because it was going to happen. We did not intervene. We did not have any kind of leverage in saying, hey, how can we work together to make this right? We go over there, and then as soon as, if y'all watching the debates, as soon as Kamala Harris, who went horizontal to go vertical in her career, knee pad Harris, as soon as she left Kyiv, it was invaded. Or I don't know if she left Kyiv, but she left from over there. Putin invaded. That's because there's no leadership. I put my life on it. Biden or Harris would not talk to Zelensky like that. Because they got to be PC. Oh, we can't argue with the, oh, yes, sir. We'll talk off camera. That's the greatest moment. That's the greatest moment of the year right there so far. But anyway, we got some video from Zelensky getting kicked out of the White House. Roll the clip.
Press area to get an understanding of what we're watching. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelensky's body language, shrugging and eye rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful, and the president feels that Zelensky is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelensky is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch. This is really pretty incredible. We see the SUV that Zelensky's at.
So y'all see Zelensky getting the boot. Now let me say this. This is what should happen. We don't owe you nothing. Zelensky, we giving him money time after time after time after time after time. We don't know where half of it going. The only reason that they have a chance in this war is because we funded them. You come up in our house and you're ungrateful, we'll stop funding the war. We told him.
Well, let's talk about the deal itself. All that President Trump is saying is we have placed our treasure in to help Ukraine defend its sovereignty. And if you actually go back to the Budapest Agreement, that's what America, the UK, then Russia under Boris Yeltsin and Ukraine agreed to. So we upheld our end of the deal, trying to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty. And all we're saying is we have $36 trillion in debt. We're running $2 trillion budget deficits. How about we help you get your country on track? We'll mine those critical minerals. We'll help you do that. We'll go into partnership. That's a win-win. And by the way, the war comes to an end. So I don't know what Zelensky is looking at, but I will tell the American people that Donald Trump has the interest of you at heart, first, second, and third. And I think even the American people are becoming to get weary about what's happening in Ukraine. We can't keep going down the same policy framework that Joe Biden took us down, because all I did is take you to a never-ending conflict that puts American dollars and then potentially American troops at risk.
Met with Zelensky this morning. I urged him to stay on message, be grateful, be thankful. We'll talk about details of security guarantees later. Keep it upbeat, keep it positive. It was absolute, utter disaster. The question for me is he redeemable in the eyes of Americans? Most Americans witnessing what they saw today would not want Zelensky to be their business partner, including me, and I've been to Ukraine 9 times since the war started. I met with him this morning. President Trump I talked to last night, he was upbeat about the deal. I've never been more proud of President Trump for showing the American people in the world you don't trifle with this man. He was very positive. He was very upbeat. He wanted to get a ceasefire. He wants to end the war. And Zelensky felt like he needed to bait Trump in the Oval Office. JD was awesome.
We told him. Ceasefire. Agree to a ceasefire. Therefore, it can temporarily stop the killing of your people, and y'all can go to the negotiation table. You either see, this is the thing that the arrogance will get you. You either ceasefire or you lose the war. Which one do you want to do? If you ceasefire, you can come to the table. If you don't ceasefire and we stop funding you because you're an arrogant D-head, then you're going to lose the war. What do you want to do? Get this man up out of the White House. Don't come up in here acting like that. I'm glad we had that on report. Don't come up in here acting like that. Not that you want to take that L. Come up in our country talking crazy like that.